You know what was great about the 2000s? Video games. We had the generation with the PlayStation 2 going on to the PlayStation 3, the advancement of graphics, online multiplayer. It was just a great time to be a gamer during that time. Not to mention the thousands of games that were being released that were very unique and interesting, and some of the best games that you'll play during that time, and I would still say hold up to this day. But the one game I wanted to talk about is Halo Combat Evolved, and I believe this game is probably the best launch game of all time. Now, if you say Super Mario 64, I can't necessarily disagree with you. That's an amazing game too, but I just prefer Halo CE. This game released on November 15th, 2001, along with the original Xbox, and it's been 25 years since then. So with the new Halo Campaign Evolved game coming out, which is basically just a remake of Halo 1, I wanted to go back and play Halo 1 in 2026 and see how well it's aged. Does it age poorly because of some of the questionable level design, or is it still one of the best games of all time? So without further ado, let's find out. This is Halo Combat Evolved. The story begins with the Pillar of Autumn fleeing from an alien race known as the Covenant. And while their desperate attempt to lure the Covenant away from Earth, they come across an ancient ring world known as Halo. You play as the Master Chief, humanity's last hope in their fight against the Covenant. Your objective is to stop the Covenant from activating the Halo ring and eliminating humanity as we know it with the help of your AI companion, Cortana. And as you're fighting the Covenant, you uncover some of Halo's mysteries, like who built the ring and the purpose of the Halo rings. In terms of the story, one of the best things about it is the mystery behind Halo and discovering the answers to those questions that you have, like who built it and what's its purpose and whatnot. And sometimes those answers lead to more questions which raise the stakes in the game, and by the end of it, it seems like there's more to worry about than just the Covenant in this universe. And while the mystery of Halo is great, it's not without great characters, and the Master Chief, I would say, is one of the most iconic characters in any video game. From his design to his Mark V armor to some really well delivered lines from Steve Downes, and he's just a one-man army. I mean, he's just taking down waves of Covenant, sometimes even by himself. But he wouldn't be able to do that with his AI companion Cortana, who's played by Jen Taylor, and she also has some really great delivery, and she's also a great character and very helpful during times of discovering like the mysteries of Halo and just helping Chief during combat scenarios. And for the majority of the game, you're going to have Cortana with you, and the whole chemistry between Chief and Cortana is really well done. You believe that these two not only really kind of care about each other, but they've also worked well together in the past, and it kind of shows with just some of the cutscenes that are in the game. And one of the characters that I wish we had more screen time with is Captain Keyes. He has maybe about 10 minutes of screen time. I'm not 100% sure on that, but he had some really nice moments, and I just wanted to know more about him. And unfortunately, I think that was kind of a missed opportunity with Bungie to really incorporate another character into the game, kind of like with Chief and Cortana. And of course, Sergeant Johnson doesn't get that much screen time. Yeah, he's in the beginning of the game a little bit, but after that, he's not really in any cutscenes other than that one cutscene, which I won't spoil because they are doing a remake of this game. And I know the game's 25 years old, and most of you probably know what happens, but you know, I'll keep that a secret. So yeah, I just wish Johnson and Keyes were in there more. And the last thing I'll talk about the campaign really is the big memorable moments in the game that make it just so replayable for me. Like the beginning of Silent Cartographer when you jump off the Pelican and you're storming the beach fighting the Covenant with other Marines with you. When you first discover the Halo ring in the beginning and then you land on it, and when you come out of that shuttle, when you first land and you just look up and you just see the ring in the sky and all the purple haze and just how beautiful the ring is. And what's more is that you get to a certain point and you discover something. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but from that point on, when you think this is just like a beautiful ring that you just happen to be fighting the Covenant on, it turns into just kind of dark and kind of scary. And I just love that about Halo 1. There's other moments, of course, and honestly, I mean, the campaign itself is well worth your time, even 25 years later. Alright, so gameplay wise, before I even started playing Halo 1 again after not playing it for a few years, I was kind of ready to say that the gameplay kind of feels a bit dated in some ways, and while I still believe there's some aspects that later Halo games do better, I actually think it still ages very well today. Using the guns like the assault rifle and the Magnum and sniper still feel great, and I never thought that aged poorly. What I thought aged poorly was like the jumping, but honestly for Halo 1, it feels fine. Yeah, I prefer later Halo games in terms of jumping, but it just took some getting used to, and at the end I really didn't mind it at all. But I will say that melee kind of feels a little bit useless sometimes because you don't lunge. You have to really get up in the Covenant's face in order to even do damage to him. There's no lunging, so you really have to close in the gap. But really, I only really used melee when I was like assassinating most of the time, and it felt fine, really. And in terms of weapons, I played mostly Halo 1 multiplayer once I played Master Chief Collection, so really the only weapons that were useful in there was like the Magnum, the sniper, and the rocket launcher. But in the campaign, to my surprise, actually pretty much all the weapons are useful in some way, even the Needler, and the Needler is borderline useless in the multiplayer. I was playing on Heroic and I tried all these weapons, and honestly, they all have their own purpose. Yes, some are better than others. Obviously, the Magnum's probably the best gun in the game, no matter what. But Needler did a pretty good job most of the time against, especially elites, and I was pretty surprised by that. And while there's not too much variety in terms of weapons in this game, I thought what was there was perfectly fine. For a 25-year-old game, all these weapons have their uses in the campaign. Not to mention, they're all iconic. I mean, the Needler, people know that's from Halo. The assault rifle especially is very iconic. And let's be honest, if I showed a picture of a weapon, most of you would probably say that's probably from Halo. So really, all these weapons are pretty iconic. And honestly, after playing the campaign again and testing all these weapons out and trying to get a feel for the game, this still really holds up 25 years later. After playing through all 10 levels of Halo 1's campaign, I can honestly say all of them are great. Each level offers something new to experience in the game, like new weapons, different factions of the Covenant that are stronger in shields and more powerful weapons, night levels, vehicle combat, and more. One of the coolest things that Bungie did with this game is that when you first arrive on the Halo ring, and I did mention this before in one of my previous segments, that it just looks like a beautiful place full of mystery and honestly a place I would like to visit. But once you get to the point on the level 343 Guilty Spark, the feeling that you get earlier in the game kind of vanishes and you start feeling like dread and uneasy just being on the ring. And there's a big reason for that, and with that feeling shifts the tone and the story of the game, which is really well done in the level design in this game. And while I think the level design for the most part is very strong, there are some weaknesses to it though. For example, the level in Assault on the Control Room has a lot of repeated hallways and rooms, and while the rooms are somewhat different, it can feel very repetitive at times, and also the library too can feel a bit repetitive just because everything kind of looks the same. And after the library, you kind of play the game backwards, so Assault on the Control Room is basically 2 betrayals, Truth and Reconciliation is Keys, and the Pillar of Autumn is basically the mall. They play a little different, but you're basically playing the game backwards at that point. And while these are valid criticisms of the level design in Halo 1, I personally just didn't really care. Before I replayed the campaign, I thought I would feel the same as other people about this, but to my surprise, I didn't. I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing through the campaign again, and while not perfect, I played this over many of the newer games coming out today. And of course, the last thing I wanted to talk about is the music. I think the music is the most perfect thing about this game. The composers Marty O'Donnell and Michael Salvatori did an incredible job of making my personal favorite music in any video game series. Even when I'm not playing the games, I do listen to the soundtrack in my car whenever I'm going anywhere because it's that good. The music really adds to a lot of the big moments in the game, like when you're jumping out of that Pelican and Silent Cartographer, the music amps up the action, and also when you're on Truth and Reconciliation and it's nighttime, then the music kind of gives you that somber, kind of cozy feeling in my opinion. My personal favorite tracks from Halo 1 are Halo, On a Pale Horse, and Under the Cover of Night. I really have no complaints about the music. I think it's just perfect, and really, you should experience it for yourself by listening to the soundtrack on your own. It's all great. And to wrap this video up, there's a reason why Halo Combat Evolved is one of the best games of all time, and it's because it's a timeless game. To me, a timeless game is where you can pick it up after 5, 10, or even 25 years later, and you can still have an amazing time with it. And Halo Combat Evolved fits into that category perfectly for me. From the story to the gameplay to the levels to the music, just almost everything about Halo 1 is perfect. Not completely perfect, but a game that came out 25 years ago, I think it's still close to being perfect as you can get with a shooter, especially on your first attempt from Bungie. Bungie really started something with Halo 1, and they continued with the sequels that I consider some of my favorite games of all time. And I just want to say to Bungie, thank you. Thank you for making Halo Combat Evolve, thank you for making Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo Reach. Even after all these years, I still go back and play the campaign and multiplayer of these games. For everyone that's listening, I highly recommend checking out the Master Chief Collection. It comes with Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST Reach, and even Halo 4. Master Chief Collection goes on sale pretty frequently, and on Steam there's mods where you can actually play cut levels from Halo 1. So I really highly recommend it. And even 25 years later, I can easily say Halo 1 is still an amazing game today.